A very good evening to you on this 10th day of May 2023. I do believe you had a great day and you're just in time for Lookup News here on Lookup TV. Remember, you can watch this bulletin live across all our social media platforms. My name is Keitany and our sign language interpreter is Josephine Oko. Now, finally, light at the end of the tunnel. After weeks of demands, accusations and counter-accusations from both sides of the political divide, the bipartisan teams met today and agreed on the framework of the talks, with 12 items on the table for discussions from both sides, something that had been a bone of contention. However, the outcome of the talks will now be known after 60 days when the team will give its recommendations. These and many other stories on our bulletin tonight, but first of all, let's have a look at what's making headlines.
Tonight on Lookup News, Pastor Ezekiel Odero on the spot over unfiled tax returns as the Senate Plenary Committee starts hearing on religious organizations and the Shakahola cult deaths. Also tonight, embattled Pastor Paul Mackenzie and 17 others to be detained for 30 more days as investigations into the cult activities continue. And urgent issues to be addressed within 30 days, says the bipartisan parliamentary team as talks officially resume.
Thank you very much. Now, the Senate Plenary Committee probing the Shakahola cult deaths on Wednesday began its hearings, bringing into question the registration of Pastor Paul Mackenzie's Good News Church and Ezekiel Odero's New Life International Church. Attorney General Justin Muturi and his team, who appeared before the committee, accused Ezekiel Odero of not filing returns, stating that his church is facing closure.
Members of the Senate Hawk Committee, which is a temporary committee formed to investigate the Shakahola massacre, were interested to get more information concerning the legalities of Pastor Ezekiel Odero's New Life International Church and that of Good News International Church, led by Paul Mackenzie.
You find a religious leader running the show accounts, receiving millions, and yet the other officials that are listed on your officials, either one has a degree or not, are merely wallowing in poverty.
An information that would be of great importance to the investigation. The committee summoned Attorney General Justin Muturi, who appeared before the members accompanied by the Registrar General and the Registrar of Societies. Muturi lamented that the Shakahola murder is as a result of the outdated Social Act, which has failed to properly regulate religious activities.
The registrar of companies will not come to your company and tell you, I want to see what it is that you are doing, until you have breached any of the provisions of the enabling law under which you are registered, or somebody has reported something.
The leaders informed the committee that Pastor Ezekiel Odero's New Life International Church and that of Good News International Church, led by Paul Mackenzie, were registered years back in 2010 and 2012 respectively, before the current Religion Act was implemented.
The Good News International Church of Mackenzie had already been registered in 2010, September 2010. So it was not affected by these administrative guidelines. The only thing now that bound it was the requirements of the Act regarding filing of annual returns.
The Registrar of Societies, Maria, stated that they closed Mackenzie's church after the Shakahola revelation, stating that Pastor Ezekiel's church has also been served with a 30 days closure notice for not filing returns.
That is the one for Ezekiel Odero. It was registered on 11 September 2012. However, since then, they haven't complied with the requirements of the Societies Act. No returns have been filed, and therefore we've also issued them with a notice to show cause why this society should not be deregistered.
Muturi has also defended President William Ruto's decision of appointing a commission of inquiry to to investigate the Shakahola massacre.
Because the issues that the task force is going to address have a bearing that should affect the entire country. And the report of the task force may very well find its way into Parliament.
Shadrack Kareria, Lookup TV.
Now, still on the same issue, the High Court has allowed police to continue detaining controversial preacher Paul Mackenzie for 30 days to complete investigations in his alleged cult activities. Mackenzie will remain in custody along his wife and 16 others arrested in the ongoing investigations of over 100 deaths of people believed to have starved in Shakahola Forest.
Once again, controversial preacher Paul Mackenzie appeared at the High Court in Mombasa alongside his wife and 16 other suspects in a bid to seek freedom. The court session opened with a word of prayer.
And the activities for the day before your mighty and able hands, Lord Father. We pray, King of Glory, that you order out.
Mackenzie looking very hopeful. Prosecutors had wanted them detained for 3 months to enable police conclude investigations on their role in the shocking religious cult activities. And after a long protracted court session, Magistrate Yusuf Shikanda made his ruling.
The police are hereby allowed to hold the respondents in detention for a period not exceeding 30 days from the 3rd of May 2023.
Mackenzie will continue to remain in custody for 30 days, and on the other hand, the exhumation process now entering day 2 at the Shakahola Forest reveals that
11 bodies have been exhumed today, with 1 other body buried, bringing the total number of bodies to 145. The number of people who have been reported missing today stands at 579. Audrey Cherotich, Lookup TV.
Thank you very much, Audrey Cherotich, for that particular story. Now, the bipartisan parliamentary team has agreed on a framework to guide the discussions on the contentious issues proposed by the opposition. The team has additionally reached consensus of a 2-month timeframe within which differences on an array of issues will be ironed out. And as reporter Henry Tendenow files, the Kenya Kwanza government has, of course, tabled 7 issues for discussions by the bipartisan teams.
A day before the lapse of a 2-day notice issued to the government by the opposition leader Raila Odinga over the bipartisan talks, the Select Committee has now agreed on a framework that will guide the process.
The agreement has now been finalized and settled and is now being prepared by a joint secretary. We will execute the same tomorrow morning when we reconvene here at 10. But the good news is that we've finalized it. Once it is signed by the members, we will share it with you, and you will see that it contains a lot of issues that required lengthy deliberations, and that's why we've had to engage on it.
The team has also settled on a 2-month time frame for the discussions. Azimio had earlier proposed a 30-day window, while Kenya Kwanza government proposing 90 days.
We have agreed to constrain that time to 60 days. But within those 60 days, we have agreed that the more urgent issues that need to be dealt with will have been dealt with within 30 days. And that the rest of the time we will take to deal with the more medium time or the rest of the issues. But the urgent ones we will deal with within 30 days.
On the table for discussions, Azimio coalition still persists with their demands, which include a reduction in cost of living, an audit of the 2022 presidential elections results, restructuring and reconstitution of IEBC, adoption of measures to prevent interference with political parties, among other pressing issues. Kenya Kwanza, on its part, has tabled 7 issues for discussion. The government wants reconstitution of IEBC Commissioner Selection Panel and a structured discussion on the 2/3 gender rule, the entrenchment of NG, CDF and GAF, and Senate oversight funds in the Constitution. Also on the table is the creation of Office of Leader of Official Opposition. Likewise, the government wants discussions to center around resolving insecurity problems including banditry and urban gangs, and proposing measures to deal with impunity on the part of those who should bear responsibility. The Kenya Kwanza team wants legal framework to give effect to Article 37 of the Constitution to regulate conduct and assign responsibilities to different parties, including organizers of demonstrations. Additionally, the team wants electoral reforms to ensure closure of electoral outcomes for post-election peace and national stability. And lastly, it wants the bipartisan talks to review legal, policy and administrative safeguards to protect government and state institutions from state capture. The bipartisan dialogue will continue tomorrow. Henry Tende, Lookup TV.
On to matters security, and Interior Cabinet Secretary Keitany and his UK counterpart Tom Tugendhat have today signed a cooperation agreement in the fight against terrorism and extremism in the country. Kenya is set to receive at least 1.7 billion shillings from the UK government to help in the fight against insecurity and rather in banditry and terrorism.
As insecurity continues to be a prevailing problem in the northern parts of the country, with banditry posing a major threat, Interior CS Keitany and the United Kingdom Minister of Security Tom Tugendhat have signed a cooperation agreement aimed at boosting security in the country. Speaking shortly after signing the pact, CS Keitany insisted on the importance of the agreement in battling insecurity at a time when the government is on the forefront in winning the battle against banditry in the larger North Rift region.
To allow Kenya and the United Kingdom to continue collaborating in the fight against terrorism, in the fight against cybercrime, in the fight against organized transboundary crime, including, but not limited to, trafficking in persons, and also illicit financial flows.
The agreement will see the Kenyan government benefit from funding aimed at boosting the fight against terrorism in the country.
The UK government is already supporting with 1.7 billion shillings a year counter-terrorism work in Kenya. This is a huge contribution to a very large effort by the Kenyan government. But it's a contribution that matters fundamentally to the British people, so that's why this investment is there.
Keitany also noted that the pact will see local forces on the forefront in the battle against banditry, benefiting from training as well as boosting the maritime security.
To continue strengthening the ordinary day-to-day policing activities, but at the same time, we want to continually develop the capacity of our tactical specialized units within the National Police Service that help us to combat, to detect, and also combat complicated and sophisticated criminal activities.
Tugendhat lauded the signing of the pact, terming it as a step forward in the fight against insecurity.
And so what we've done today is we've laid the seed for a foundation that will grow in strength. And it will do two things. It will defend the British people, of course. That is why I'm here. And it will defend the Kenyan people. That is why you're here. But it will do one more thing. It will deepen Kenya's role as a regional power. And it will expand Kenya's voice as a global siren for what matters in this world.
Ian Keitany, Lookup TV.
Of course, that particular story was produced by Nancy Nalima. Still, on matters security, 20 firearms have been recovered in South Turkana after youth in the region surrendered their illegal weapons to security officials. The move was lauded by county officials who affirmed that the operations will continue to ensure security is restored, as they called on the national government to provide alternative opportunities for the reformed young men.
As the operation to flash at bandits in the northern parts of the country intensifies, 20 youth from Kakong area of South Turkana have surrendered their illegal firearms to the police in support of the peace restoration mission in the banditry-prone region. Turkana Governor Jeremiah Lamurukai lauded the move as a sure way to end banditry in the region.
Hii silaha imetolewa na watu wetu kwa roho safi, kwa sababu rais wetu ametumia nyinyi kuhakikisha kwamba mambo ya NPR imekuwa yanaanza kule Turkana West, kule Turkana North tuko na NPR zaidi ya 600 ambao serikali yetu imetupatia. Lakini sasa tumeanza mpango mzuri ya kuleta NPR katika sehemu hii, kwa sababu hapa ndio base, hapa ndio shida yote ya wahalifu.
While assuring residents of sufficient security during the ongoing operation, Turkana Commissioner Jacob Oma stated that the government will continue operations to ensure that all illegal firearms are recovered.
Zungumza na wananchi wamesikiza na wameitikia mwito ya kwamba serikali inataka tuishi kwa amani ndani yetu, miongoni mwetu na majirani wetu. Na sisi tumeona bunduki ambayo imeletwa hapa mbele yetu. Mimi nashukuru uongozi wa Turkana, nashukuru vijana na ninashukuru nyinyi nyote kwa sababu mumeitikia wito wa Mheshimiwa Rais wa kutaka watu wakae kwa amani na hii mambo ya kutokuwa na amani ikwishe. Na wakati mumerudisha bunduki, sisi pia tunaona ya kwamba bunduki haramu imerudishwa.
Governor Lomurkai commended President William Ruto for increasing the number of security officers and urged the government to provide the youth with alternative employment opportunities after renouncing banditry and becoming law-abiding citizens. David Alex, Lookup TV.
It indeed is a good thing that the youths in that particular part of the country have decided to return the firearms and start embracing peace. Indeed, that is the way forward, and that should be emulated by the youths in different parts of the country that have been, of course, affected by matters in security. On that particular note, we take a short breather. We'll be back with more news on this particular bulletin. Don't go away.
Why Malindi? Any idea why the A-list celebrities, politicians choose Malindi as a destination? Is it the sandy, spotless white beaches, the rhythmic, relaxing oceanic waves, or is it the great potential investment opportunity that Malindi has to offer? Dark Balance, we are here with a variety of projects from as low as 99,000 shillings. You get an eighth of an acre with ready title deeds. Book your plot today with only 35,000 shillings and get a free return air ticket. Be the next investor in Malindi with Dark Balance. Call us now on 0740 888 111 or 0740 888 222. Dark Balance. We promise, we deliver. Why wait? 20 Malindi.
Sensei Institute of Technology is the home to the best practical courses, giving you a hands-on experience to handle the world. A place to build your skill and see the world in a different. For you to join us, ensure you have your national ID card and be ready to enjoy the ride. Sensei College, my skills, my future.
We as Novena United Circle are a society that is able to provide a platform for business startups by providing financial aid to members and creating a platform to accumulate their savings. We look for small business entrepreneurs who are starting a business venture and provide the best opportunity to expand a business niche and turn it into something big. For more information, call us on 0768 757 956 or WhatsApp us on 0734 832 430. Novena United Circle. Tuungane pamoja.
Hey darling, are we still on for a coffee date?
I'm waiting for you to come and pick me up.
I should be able to pick you in a few.
It's a coffee yogurt date?
It's not just a yogurt. It's royal coffee yogurt.
Flow with
with the sweet taste of thick and smooth Royal Fresh coffee yogurt. Royal Fresh, the royal taste of freshness.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for staying with us. Now, more than 300 retired workers of the Pyrethrum Manufacturing Company in Nakuru County are calling on President Dr. William Ruto to help them secure a 2.5 billion shilling pension arrears owed to them by the company for the past 13 years. Innocent Rigaro with the details of that long standoff that began after corruption allegations rocked the Pyrethrum Board of Kenya.
For the past 13 years, former workers of Pyrethrum Processing Company in Nakuru have been waiting for their pensions in vain for fear of dying before they see their well-deserved dues. The group today, through their spokesperson Harun Tinga, urged the Minister for Agriculture Franklin Rinturi to fast-track the implementation process.
First of all, to the CS Minister of Agriculture, that if he could find out, because there must be some very good documentation in his office, the PS Agriculture is aware of this, so that he can come out and help these members, because a decision needs to be made regarding this matter, so that members of this group would be paid their dues.
The disturbed pensioners claim that the Pyrethrum Processing Company of Kenya Board announced early last year that it had written to the National Treasury seeking permission to sell houses and land in prime areas of Nakuru City to clear the pensioners' dues. According to the report, there was a defined benefit scheme with each member contributing 5% of their salaries while the employer contributed 15%, and this money was to be invested over a period of time. But even after the contributors attained the mandatory retirement age, they have never been paid back.
Sunset years by getting their monthly pension, because this is a defined benefit scheme where a member contributed and an employer also added some percent.
The scheme, which was put up in 1991, started experiencing financial challenges in the year 2002 after their sponsors, the defunct Pyrethrum Board of Kenya, now PPCK, faced mismanagement, corruption and theft of public resources.
Unfortunately, our people have suffered because the pension scheme was mismanaged. The money that the members used to contribute was never remitted to the administrator. The amount of money we are talking about has now accumulated to about 2.5 billion. The pensioners we are talking about, most of them have died. We have lost more than 60 pensioners. So we have been asking the government, how will you treat your citizens, the Kenyans, who have worked for the government all these years to live in a miserable life, like the one of the Pyrethrum Board, the pensioners of Pyrethrum Board.
Innocent Ogaro, Lookup TV.
Now, the pastor of New Jerusalem Church, Eliud Simiyu, popularly known as Yesu Watongaren, was today questioned at the DCI offices in Bungoma. Bungoma Police Commander Francis Colley stated that the questioning was in line with the national security concerns as investigations into questionable doctrines in the wake of the Shakahola cult deaths continues across the country.
Mulima wa Sayuni, mulima wa Sayuni, nena na Yesu, mulima wa Sayuni, shiriki na Yesu.
Sisi tumemaliza mahojiano ya siku ya leo na imebaki hiyo kesho. Tumempatia mwaliko ingine ya kesho, atakuwa hapa masaa kama ya jana, anajua masaa hizo. Kwa hivyo tunamjalia safari njema akirudi na watu wake, lakini kwa sasa hivi tujampata na kisa chochote ambayo tunaweza kuwaelezea kwamba kama ingekuwa tayari tungekuwa tumempeleka kotini. Kwa hivyo bado kesho kuna mahojiano tena ya pili ili tuweze kuona kama masuala mengine yatakuwepo, ili akirudi tusiwe tena na wakati ya kumsumbua, kumuita, kupeleka hivi. Tunatumalizana na hayo mambo, kwa sababu pia kitu ya muhimu tunamleta hapa ili kumsikiza pia. Hilo jambo si kumuelezea, lakini ni kupia kusikia, na tumesikia kuna baadhi ya watu walikuwa wanataka kumsulubisha, na kwetu sisi tunasema usalama ya mtu ni wa muhimu, na tunashukuru Wakenya wengi walitii kwamba wasije kuhatarisha maisha ya watu bila kufuata utaratibu wa kisheria. Maisha ya Mkenya inathaminiwa sana na katiba ya Kenya. Kwa hivyo si kama polisi unasema wacheni mkondo wa sheria uchukue mkondo wake, na tufuate mambo kama vile sisi tunapatia kila mtu mwaliko.
Yesu Watongaren, like he calls himself. Now, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua on Wednesday met agricultural stakeholders to focus on economic transformation. Gachagua urged the partners in the ministry to align their strategic priorities of the sector to the bottom-up economic transformation agenda on key pillars of agriculture. Cecilia Lubanga with these and more on our county wrap.
It's important that the status report be prepared.
With an elaborate plan to revamp the agricultural sector in the country, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua said the government is committed to realizing food security. Gachagua met stakeholders from the Ministry of Agriculture, urging them to put major concerns in line with the bottom-up economic transformation agenda.
We want the principal secretaries to align your projects with the Kenya Kwanza plan. Food security, universal health coverage, digital superhighway, and the creative economy and housing.
In other news, the county government of Embu has been losing approximately 20 million annually through payroll mismanagement and discrepancies, money mainly lost through irregular allowances that some staffers have been earning, according to the governor Cecily Mbarire. In a statement, she said some employees were earning rental house allowances as well as special house allowances, while others were receiving special allowances on top of basic salary that amounted to double pay.
Of the discrepancies between what one was employed for and the amount of money they were supposed to be paid as per their job group or job description and what they are paid in the payroll, there's discrepancy. So there are people earning more in the payroll than they should as per their letter of employment. So that way we are losing about 20 million per year because of that. So that's one of the cleanup exercises we are going to do.
The county boss said those implicated in the vice will be surcharged for the monies they have been receiving illegally, noting that lack of an internal audit department was largely to blame for the anomaly. Mbarire said actions will not only be taken against the employees, but also on whoever was responsible for the scam. Elsewhere, transport along the Naivasha-Maimahiu Road was temporarily paralyzed after residents of Kihoto, Naivasha town, took to the streets to protest power blackout in the sprawling estate. The residents, who have been disconnected from electricity for the last 2 weeks, blamed Kenya Power for the continued suffering.
Population ya 30,000 people, kuna kina mama ambao wamefungua biashara zao zimefungwa wakati huu. Kuna wale ambao wanafanya kazi katika salon, katika visiagi hawafanyi chochote. Biashara ya maziwa haifanyiki hapa hivi. Wale ambao wanaweka samaki zao katika fridge zimeharibika wakati huu. Na ni wiki nzima.
Tafadhali mtusaidie, stima mrudishe. Kwa sababu sisi tukikaa hapa giza tutaumia. Na tumeumia tayari.
Na mafridge kwa duka zetu. Kuna fridge tumeweka vitu kama nyama za kuku, kuna kuku shop, kuku zangu zote zilioza nimetupa. Maziwa imeganda yote imeharibika.
Nimetupa ng'ombe mbili. Stima hakuna, wanasema transformer inakuja kurudishwa huko, hawarudishi transformer. Wamekaa na sisi hatuna deni, tunalipa stima na token, hatuna stima wiki mbili. Tutaenda wapi?
The estate that is home to hundreds of flower farmers and casual laborers has been in darkness after 2 of the 3 transformers serving them blew up. This comes a couple of weeks after the electricity company admitted that it had problems procuring transformers due to financial challenges and legal battles. Cecilia Lubanga, Lookup TV.
Now, on to matters of business, and small investors at Family Bank will soon enjoy low-interest loan services to support their businesses after the bank obtained a go-ahead from the African Development Bank Group to start disbursement of the money. The two-tier bank, which has seen growth of about 5% in the past 1 year, will release funds to specific sectors such as women-led businesses, SMEs in trade, renewable energy and agriculture.
Yeah, sure. So thanks a lot. Just speaking to the expansion.
Family Bank has been in line with the government's agenda to provide affordable credit to lower-income households. The company has seen an increase in customer loans by 21.6% in the previous year, majority of the loans taken by small business enterprises.
So again, if you also then look at our composition of our loan book and even the applications that we do receive on a day-to-day basis, 80% in terms of our application counts, applications then coming in from, micro and small medium enterprises, most of whose lending needs are below 300,000 shillings. So I can then say that as a bank, we are truly an MSME bank, and we will continue supporting that segment in the economy.
The Chief of Finance, Stephen Gogi, noted that the enterprise's financial outlook is promising as they will still continue to explore opportunities in different sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, and health that have shown great potential.
Be deployed within the MSME space, specific sectors being, women-owned or led enterprises, SMEs in trade, SMEs in, agri, and also renewable energies.
Family Bank is, however, positive and keen on maintaining the 5% growth in the financial year 2023. Despite challenges such as post-COVID recovery, inflation, and depreciation of the Kenyan shilling against major currencies globally.
Of course, we are not, blind to the fact that the macroeconomic conditions are likely to be tougher than what we've experienced in the last 2 years. However, within those tough macros, we still do see opportunities, especially within small businesses, and those are the opportunities that we will continue exploiting.
Juliet Chepkoech, Lookup News.
Now, onto the field of play, and the fastest man in Africa and Commonwealth gold winner Ferdinand Omurwa Omanyala is ready to set a new record on Saturday on the 13th this month at the Keitany Classic Tournament, which will be held at the Moi International Sports Centre, Kasarani in Nairobi. The 27-year-old champion is in top shape as he embarks on the final preparations.
First things, tuna expect study jae, tunataka wasawaja zi study because mini athlete napenda hype, napenda ama fans, napenda kuona wase around, so nikicheki wase around itanipush sana, so naomba tu wase wakam wa turn up, na mimi my target ni kuvunja African record this weekend. Under 9.77, yeah, kukimbia to something below 9.77. We get another African record. Yeah. But of course, every time we're changing environments because tuko places different so many times, so as in affecting as much. Mimi msenta kama mtafika leo na kesho nikimbie na bado ni perform, so ni kuweka tu mentality yako iko strong because unajua una meet different people, una interact na watu different, so just put your mentality kwa normal, hizi vitu utazi overcome. Na set records, of course zita stand for a while, but somebody else will break it because hata mimi navunja records zile kwa na mtu mwingine before, so it's a challenge to him. Of course tulianza na France, main thing do, but najua not main thing, but secondary goal ni do, but primary goal we're doing this for passion because napenda kitu na do. Kama ningekuwa story ya do ningekuwa niliacha kitambo after do imeingia, but mimi na chase kitu juu ya passion, so imekuwa fiti from indoors tukaenda South Africa, toka South Africa tukachapa moja Botswana na Atlanta kufanya 150, and then sasa Keitany. Yeah.
Still on matters Keitany Classic, and the preparations of the 4th edition of the Keitany Classic is at the final stages ahead of the tournament on Saturday. Main sponsors Safaricom PLC will be boosting this year's edition with 9.2 million shillings with a tree planting exercise scheduled. The first man to win a gold medal for Kenya, Kipchoge Keino, is expected to arrive in the country on Thursday to witness the competition named after him.
tunatarajia kwa hii ya miaka ya 4 sasa. Tuko program tumefanya vizuri sana na tunaendelea kupata wanariadha washuhuri kutoka dunia mzima. Tuko na Shelian Fraser and Shagari Anderson wameshaingia tayari hapo Nairobi. Sasa hii mbio tunaona itakuwa mzuri kusidi zile zingine. Nilikuwa chusi huko Kaperone, Botswana, na nilipata nafasi kuongea na director wa competition kutoka World Athletics, na alifurahi, anasema tulianzia Continental Tour hapa Kenya na imefanya vizuri sana mpaka sasa. Wameamua kwamba wapatie nafasi Botswana watengeneze mbio kama hii, na tena wanaanza kuongea na South Africa ili Afrika wapate mbio nyingi, ili wanariadha wa Afrika wapate nafasi ya kukimbia na wapate kupata riziki kutoka mbio sawa.
So this is the 4th one, and it has even grown better and bigger than what we have seen in the first edition, the second edition, and now this is the 4th edition. So we are very happy. We are very happy as Athletics Kenya, as organizers of this event, and of course our partners from Golazo. Because when you grow, it means that something good is happening. I also want to thank the Kenyans for having kept abreast with what is happening in terms of athletics events, and particularly this one, which is an international event. It's an international event because it is graded and it is recognized everywhere in the world.
We believe in transforming lives, and we believe in transforming lives of the communities in which we operate in, and we do this by connecting people to people, connecting people to knowledge, and connecting people to opportunities. And it is in this spirit that today we are here to partner with Athletics Kenya in this Classic, and we strongly believe that as a business, and we strongly believe in Kenya, and we know that running, athletics, marathons are part and parcel of our heritage as Kenyans. Over and above the athletics that we are partnering in today, we are going to have a component of tree growing, because we strongly believe that we need quality air, good environment to be part and parcel of our athletics and for us to thrive as Kenyans.
On to matters of football, and the second quarter-final of the UEFA Champions League clash will kick off tonight. 7-time UEFA Champions League title holders AC Milan will be at their backyard San Siro to host Inter Milan in the first leg fixture. The match is set to kick off at 10 p.m. with each of the teams fighting to secure a place in the final. Well, it will be a very interesting battle. It is called, or rather dubbed, the Milan Derby, because both Milan teams will be battling for place in the finals. Remember, both our teams do play at the San Siro as their home.